In the heart of the 12th century Mongolian steppes, a child was born holding a blood clot in his fist, a primal sign of a warrior destined to conquer. He wasn't born a king. He was born a hunted exile. Before he became the scourge of God, he was a boy who learned that mercy was a luxury he couldn't afford. History remembers him as Genghis Khan. But before the empire, before the bloodshed that changed the world map forever, there was only a starving boy named Temujin. Today, we step into the shadows of his origin to discover how a boy from nowhere became the most feared man in human history. Temujin's father, Yasuge, was a powerful chieftain, but in the lawless steppes, power is a magnet for betrayal. After being poisoned by a rival tribe, the Tatars, the clan's support evaporated in a single night. Temujin, barely 9, watched as his father's followers packed their belongings and abandoned them, leaving his mother, Holun, and her children to fend for themselves in the freezing wilderness. They were stripped of everything: their horses, their weapons, and their status. Imagine a life where the temperature drops to -40 degrees. This was the frozen hell of the Mongolian steppe. For Temujin and his family, existence was stripped to its barest bones. They didn't have permanent homes. They lived in the shadow of hunger. They survived by digging for roots and hunting field mice. During the winter, the biting wind didn't just feel like cold. It felt like a physical assault. This environment didn't just build his muscles. It hardened his soul. It taught him that if nature couldn't kill you, nothing could. Survival also meant internal conflict. Temujin's half-brother, Bekhta, began to challenge his authority over the family's meager resources. In a moment that defined his transformation, Temujin made a choice. He didn't just fight for food, he fought for his role as the head of the family. That day, he silenced the challenge permanently. This wasn't just an act of violence, it was a grim lesson. He learned that in the world of the steppes, there is no middle ground. He was no longer the victim of his fate. He was the architect of it. As Temujin grew, he realized that a lone wolf dies in the winter, but the pack survives. He began to form alliances, not through blood, but through charisma and sheer force. He reached out to outcasts, men who had nothing to lose and everything to gain. He wasn't promising them peace, he was promising them order. He was turning the broken pieces of Mongolia into a single, razor-sharp blade. The tribes were tired of the chaos, and Temujin was the only one brave enough to lead them out of it. But the road to power is never paved with peace. Even as he united the tribes, a betrayal by his closest blood brother, Jamukha, was looming. The bond of friendship was about to be tested by the fires of war. What happens when your closest friend becomes your most dangerous obstacle? The rise of the wolf was just beginning. Join me in episode 2, The Shadow of Conquest, where the real war for the world begins. Subscribe to The Shadow Files and hit the bell icon because the next chapter is coming.